Deepfakes are getting better and better and better all the time. NVIDIA recently created what they call a style-based generator architecture for generative adversarial networks. Essentially, the idea of a generative adversarial network is that you have two different algorithms playing off each other. One of them a generator which uses an evolutionary process to generate faces, and one of them a discriminator that judges them, and the two programs gradually improve each other. This produces pretty impressive results, as you can see. Now eventually we are going to reach a point where whole videos can be fabricated in a totally physics accurate way. We will first reach a point where ordinary people can no longer discriminate between fake videos and real videos. They will look totally real to the human eye. This isn't just significant for porn, by the way. Whole events could be fabricated. However, at that point computers will likely be able to analyse for slight defects that don't match a real scene in terms of how objects are lighted and how things behave physics-wise. So there will be a bit of an arms race. Of course, since a video is only going to have a certain resolution to begin with, eventually as the technology improves you'll be able to produce videos that look fake to humans but also can't be detected as fake by computers, since the degree to which they differ from reality is smaller than the values contained by individual pixels. The long shot is that this will either mean that video evidence will no longer be good enough, or that only videos that contain way more information than a human can discriminate will count as evidence, purely so that small differences can be detected in the videos by a computer. I used to think there would be a limit in terms of things like resolution and frame rate, because at a certain point the resolution and frame rate are beyond human appreciation, but it may be that they continue to rise solely so that deep fake videos can be distinguished from genuine content by computers. This is disappointing for anyone who hoped that we'd eventually reach a point where file sizes stop growing and data storage well outstrips them, though we can simply reserve lower level videos for entertainment and then spread higher and higher formats in CCTV and in settings used by cameras for recording news events. After that, only a certain level of video would count towards evidence. There will be a transitional period where this creates chaos and high volumes of fake news spreads, and there is an arms race between computers producing deepfake videos and computers trying to detect and distinguish them from reality. This could be very disruptive and dangerous, and all sorts of political events could be faked. And if people react before adjusting themselves to the new paradigm, the level of consequences could rise to military conflict, especially when you consider that all sorts of casus belli like assassinations could be faked. In the longer run, I expect that those who wish for technology to produce smaller political, economic and social units can take heart, because this process is likely to erode trust in evidence that cannot be confirmed by trusted partners in a community network. If digital fake news is produced and only extremely sophisticated algorithms running on supercomputers can detect it, then ordinary people would have to arbitrarily trust different corporate and governmental authorities. In the past, it was, at least in theory, not arbitrary, because it was assumed that the camera did not lie, and so that if one centralised authority claimed one thing, but then another centralised authority claimed the opposite and backed it up with video evidence, then the latter authority would be the one with empiricism on its side. People would have an actual reason to trust beyond faith, or at least theoretically. If our faith in the camera being unable to lie is misplaced, then you'll see growing distrust of centralised authorities in the media, corporations and government. People will be liable to trust video as factual only when it comes from someone they know and trust. The long process of alienation from human-scale social networks will perhaps finally be reversed. When trusting in video leads to disaster, society will gradually adjust through pains and pangs towards a higher, much more local standard of confirmation. In this way, deep fakes, though a tool of and a product of centralised technological powers, may undermine those very same powers, and the pressures leading to techno-decentralism may win out over those leading to techno-centralism.